Do you think really that, you know, relationships sometimes need to be pushed to the limit before you actually realise how much you actually do want that relationship or love that person? And I'm looking straight at you, Katie, because obviously...
No, I like it. I've got a smile on my face
because yours
now.
was I mean, I always say to you, I couldn't have dealt with what you dealt with. That's the ultimate, you know, your husband having an affair with your best friend.
But the thing is, I was happy. I thought we were in a happy relationship, and we were. But he obviously had that sex addiction side. And I'm smiling now because I remember everyone saying, leave him. And I think the best thing you could do, it's easy to walk away, but it's a stronger person to stay. So we did stay, and I realised there was lots of other things that went on with his childhood. I'm not saying it's an excuse. We got through it to the point that, you know, one of my friends, he was texting on the social media. So this week, he's now gone on Instagram, which for us is a big step.
So he wasn't on any social media for, what, about 4 years?
Yeah. Since he got caught, he had to come off everything. So now he's back on it.
Sorry, can I just ask, was that you saying, I want you off that, or was that counsellors saying...
Him and the therapist,
yeah.
because it was easy, you know, because on these social medias, I don't know if you lot are, people can direct message you, anybody can. Yeah. So he's back on that. And finally,
does that worry you?
No, because I trust him. And for our wedding anniversary in the card this year, I haven't even said this to anyone. You know, I always said, I will never forgive, and never forget, I learned to do it. I have actually said to him, I now forgive you, I do forget, because I've got to the point where he doesn't even give me a reason not to worry. He's changed so much, he's proved himself, and the best thing I ever did was stay with him. So I always say to people, try and resolve the problems or whatever it is, and if you can't, then walk away, because you don't want to be in a relationship if you're not happy.
Did your love change? Because I understand what you're saying. You know, I've decided to stay in there, we've moved forward, I'll try and forget it. I mean, we've got children together.
Yeah.
But did your actual love for him diminish a bit?
Yeah, because obviously at first, I definitely would say I love him more now. He's a different person. We always say the old Kieran's gone. But like we had discussions before that if you're really not happy in a relationship, don't stay in it. But I would say we've moved on to be really happy. Don't get me wrong, there have been times where I'm like, I want to get him back. You know, shall I text someone, shall I do this, shall I do that? Just for my own self, it's like because I feel I want to do something back to hurt him. Which is natural. But the best thing I did was stay. But yeah, some people haven't got that in them to be strong.
Would you stay, Janet?
Would I stay? Well, I haven't got a very good track record of staying, have I? I think it's a bit simplistic to say that a crisis always brings you together, because there's a 50-50 chance that even though you were very much in love before the crisis happened, that you'll split up. And in my own experience, I was married to someone much older than me who had a child with a lot of difficulties that were caused by water on the brain at birth, undiagnosed hydrocephalus. And so we had a child with all sorts of learning difficulties. My husband, the child was 7 when we got married. My husband was obsessed and cared passionately about, like Katie cares about Harvey, that child is the centre of your life. So I took that child on board as my stepson, and we were married for 4 years. And then suddenly the child, out of nowhere, we were told that he had cancer, stomach cancer, and he died within 2 weeks. Oh, and it devastated my husband. And because the child was the centre of his life, he had a total nervous breakdown. And it had a profound effect on me too, because, you know, I was caring for my husband in his grief, but I think it dealt the death blow to our relationship. It definitely did.
And how much time did that take?
Well, when after the funeral, we went to Mallorca, and we stayed out of the country for a few weeks, and, you know, my husband couldn't even go into a room with a child in it for years.
So was he having a breakdown, do you think, of sorts?
Yeah, I think he was having a breakdown. I mean, I was just kind of working through it and being supportive, but there just comes to a point where maybe you just have to move on for your self-preservation. So, you know, I don't want people watching this programme to think less of me. well, they can. I can't prevent that.
but
But I'm being realistic.
You're being honest because
Yeah.
the theory is, you know,
Doesn't work for
if you
everybody.
stay, everything will be all right. And
No,
it
it
isn't
won't
all right.
always. He should have had counselling, but this was back, you know, in the day where people didn't recognise that. And I really think he should have had counselling, but he just became a very morbid person, and I couldn't, you know, I tried, and then eventually I had an affair, and he forgave me, but I was ready, you know, having the affair was probably my way of trying to walking away. And I did have a kind of exit strategy, but it took another 2 years.